fantastic lights here in the city of Shanghai. Both games going to be played in the same stadium, of course, so FPX just keeping us on track for those timings with that 2-0. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am, of course, BP, joined again by Clement. Coming into the new series, this one's a biggie. This one's a little bit of a big one now. EDG versus Top Esports, and both these sides have some incredible talent within their lineups, but at the same time, both having very different seasons.
Yeah, sorry. For EDG, this has been a rebounding season for them. Spring split, they had Clear Love on the roster. This time around, Jiejie has fully taken over the helm. And first things first, we have to congratulate them for securing their playoff berth. Now, this did happen in their series against Vici Gaming, which unfortunately we did not broadcast. So this is our chance to inform all of you, EDG has secured their path. Now, they still have a lot ahead of them because EDG's legacy is just that massive in the LPL. They have never missed a single Worlds from 2014 to last year. They even made it then, so they would like to make it 6 in a row. However, it's very difficult because they got 0 points in Spring Split, and if they want to make the regional qualifiers, they would need to take 3rd place in the summer playoffs just to take down teams like IG and JD Gaming, regardless if those two make playoffs or not. Yeah,
and that's the scary thing now, is that we talk about legacy, but like, you know, it's a similar story to TSM and why it was such a huge deal when they did not make Worlds in 2018. It's like, but they're always there. That's just a fact. It's like, you know, certain things are certain. The sky is blue, taxes will be paid, and EDG makes Worlds. That's just kind of how it's always been. Right now, though, they've got themselves, they're in playoffs, so they've secured the first part. Naturally, they have to look towards the future and look towards playoffs now, and they're against probably one of the hottest teams in the league right now, Top Esports, and one of the hottest mid laners in the league right now at Knight.
Yeah, we just played the LPL Origins video is all about Knight and this new young mid laner. He's been doing absolute work, shutting down Xiaohu in their previous matchup and cementing himself as the top dog in the position. Now, to be fair, Scout has been having a great split himself as well. EDG overall not as flashy, but Scout himself actually still ranks 2nd in most categories in that mid lane position. So we are really getting a good treat today. We're really getting to see who deserves to be hailed as the best mid laner of the LPL.
Yeah, and exactly. You can see here at Top Esports, even when they're at a disadvantage, even when it looks like they're not actually going to come out on top, and this is against RNG last week, it still ends up turning around because Knight is just that good at just knowing the limitations of his champion.
Yeah, we called Top Esports probably the team with the most potential in the LPL once Knight and Xiongxiong got together. We are a very mid-jungle focused league, and frankly, it's a toss-up between these two and Tien and Doinby on who has the best mid-jungle duo in the league. Like you would notice, I didn't even mention RNG right there. So
that's the scary thing. That's like the genuinely scary thing there, is that, you know, the side of Top Esports, like, I'm going to give you some names, and you're going to tell me which one does not go to Worlds. As we look at the, like, you know, Scout, Knight, Xiaohu, Rookie, Doomby. Who doesn't go to Worlds there? There's 2 that haven't got, who can't go.
Yeah, it's actually insane, and it's so unfair for the mid lane position. You have to remember, LPL is actually most stacked in mid. It's not bot, it's not top. It has to be the mid lane position, and it's most likely between these two, actually. Great splits so far. You can see a bit more of the hard carrying coming for Knight. But what I want to point out is the champion pool is actually incredibly similar between these two players. Their top 4 is basically the same outside of the Azir coming in from Scout, but he's also a great Jace player. So we're going to see a lot of priority being put on, I would say, most likely the Aurelia and the Sylas.
Yeah, you can see as well, just looking at the team stats in general, Top Esports, of course, goal difference at 15, 2nd in the league to EDG, who's taking a much slower type of game. And overall, you know, they kind of, actually, one of the things I love is that lead at 15, at 15 minutes percentage is basically how long they spend in the lead at 15 in that particular time. And it's like 60% of the time at 15 minutes, they are ahead in the games. And we're not going to spend any more time talking about this matchup. We're just going to jump straight into picks and bans. EDG versus Top Esports, straight into game 1. And like you said, we'll have to most likely be seeing a lot of priority put into those mid lane.
Now, both of these teams are very early game focused. Of course, Top Esports statistically has a better advantages across all 3 of their lanes. However, the interesting thing about the graph afterwards is Top Esports slows down after the laning phase. They actually play a very controlled game, which is rare among the top teams in the LPL. They stick very thoroughly to their 1-3-1s. They spread the map out. They like to play a suffocating game against their opponents once they get that lead. While on the other hand, you see EDG, they take a different approach. Once they get the lead, they just set traps around those objectives. They have death brushes. They have a lot of single target crowd control. And recently in their drafts, it has been about just the CC chains. We saw the Camille and Jarvan last time around with the Rakan, just stacking their entire roster with crowd control, with initiation, and just hiding in those brushes.
And that's the scary thing as well. And I want to see exactly what either of these sides, prioritize, and especially for EDG, because this could be potentially someone you go up against to try and, get into that kind of 3rd/4th place spot within the LPL to get those points, because top right now in that top 3 position, fighting with RNG at the moment for top 2, but realistically, it is going to be Top Esports you're going to play in those semifinals.
Yeah, Top Esports did finish 4th in Spring Split, so they do have a large point advantage over the likes of EDG. Did represent at Rift Rivals where EDG was absent, and this time around they're still likely to have much better seeding. Currently sitting, I believe, at 3rd place, just below RNG after their wins, actually.
Actually, I think the Top Esports are 2nd.
Oh, 2nd.
Yes,
Top Esports.
RNG did lose. Yeah, no, you're totally fine, but it is only a 1-game difference overall, so definitely a lot closer than people might think. And it's kind of the crazy thing. We're in an era of a lot of teams, be it LPL, LCK, and LEC, is that it's kind of not just one team that's doing exceptionally well. It's a lot of teams kind of closely keeping everything together.
Yep. So Top Esports currently at. Oh, wait a minute. I think Breeze is currently at 3rd place. Am I wrong? Yeah,
No.
currently at 3rd place. Currently at 3rd place.
I think it's to do with game score, do you believe?
Yeah, with match score as well. So this would be an important one for them to lock into. Top Esports, they do want to get in that top 2. Getting in that top 2 almost guarantees them the ability to get into the regional qualifier by points, and that would be a massive upset to the rankings here come playoff time, that regional qualifiers.
To the ecosystem of the LPL going into playoffs, as we are jumping into picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. EDG on the blue and TES on the red. Jace banned away, Olaf, Tam Kench all banned by Top Esports, as we see the Yuumi, the Gragas, and the Silas. We saw what Knight can do on that a couple of games ago. And it looks like that means the Akali first pick here, almost certainly going to be going either to Scout or Jinoo. I would argue I would like to see it on Scout, but I can see it going to Jinoo as well.
Yeah, I actually like it on Scout a little bit more. I think this is the type of champion where he really excels at. If you ask me who was the best Akali after the rework, it hands down goes to Scout. This is a champion that he was all proficient on, and I think he has a lot more assassin instincts in him rather than the crowd control type. So Top Esports, they've already seen the matchup. Knight seems really excited. Good grand smile coming down from him. And they're actually going to go for a much safer type of a bot lane opening here. Now, we were talking about why Sejuani is kind of lesser picked as a champion across the board, and we mentioned the Gragas. However, for Xiongxiong, this is kind of his go-to. Xiongxiong actually does like to play a lot more of these champions that have a higher chance for getting kills post-6.
I like this immediate move here from EDG. We talked about the Rakan last time, and it is straight away get that controlling bot lane. You see the topper looking to try and secure a security blanket themselves, but with no Tam Kench on the board, and they lock in the gangplank, which means that Kai'Sa not going to have her first preference in support.
Yeah, it definitely is looking like a lane that will get pushed in. So Top Esports will have to focus down on their mid lane. Gangplank and Kai'Sa already selected. These look like quite mild side lane preferences for Top Esports, throwing a lot of hope into Knight versus Scout is what I'm reading out of this draft. Now EDG, they do have to decide on their jungler and another one of their soul lanes so far. Let's see what's up. One thing about Jiejie is that when he does have his Olaf banned away, he is a huge proponent of the Xin Zhao. He will bring the Xin Zhao in just to secure victories in one of his lanes, and that one hasn't been taken away, so I do expect it to be on the board.
And again, more and more pressure being put on to Knight in these picks and bans. We saw the Silas taken away from him, as well as the Corki. So all safety being taken away. That could be a gangplank mid as the Vladimir is banned, but with that Vladimir ban, I do imagine that it will be a gangplank towards that top side. For 369, who had a pretty damn good Jax game last time out.
Oh, I love the Jax. Just I like the fact that more people are taking the Jax into the Camille's and Aatrox matchups. He definitely wins out just with his level 6. And late game, there's nothing you can do when he's against a fed Jax and he's coming into your back line. He just constantly gets the counter strikes up. Top Esports still holding on to that solo lane card. It's going to go for potential Alistar here.
I don't like this pick.
Huh?
Very, very good at disengaging from the Rakan. Easy enough to set up kind of, you know, kill lanes as well. Maybe even try and get that ultimate out of iBoy's Xayah. And iBoy is an interesting story for EDG this split. Of course, arguably one of the better, you know, AD carries within the league, 100%, but has definitely been a bit hot and cold this entire, you know, kind of summer split. Has shown some amazing flashes of brilliance and then some absolutely woeful decision-making that has led his team down a terrible path of loss.
Yeah, so I think this is why EDG is actually mainly carried by Scout. I think their performance on iBoy is way too coin flippy. You don't know how he's going to perform on any given day. So having Scout on a priority pick has been the go-to strategy for EDG. They just need initiation from everyone else and give enough space for for Scout to do his job. And that's what they're drafting for. Now, the Trundle is something that is rather interesting for me because we haven't seen Trundle particularly successful in the LPL. Yes, it's a good counter against the Sejuani, but Trundle itself doesn't pack a lot of ganking potential, and that's the problem that we've been seeing the recent times, where even the Sejuani, even if she's down camps, can kind of just sneak away kills and keep abreast with the Trundle that way. We're going to see the Zoe actually being locked down for Knight.
A lot of burst potential. Able to,
matchup.
yeah, safe one-shotting is always a good situation to be in if you can do it from a good distance, but of course it has her weaknesses. If she does get caught up by CC, can go down very, very quickly as the rosters are locked in. And just to go back to your point as well, I think the main reason you do take the Trundle into the Sejuani, to anyone who doesn't know at home, if the Sejuani does go with the Aftershock and you subjugate after she gets the Aftershock, your Trundle is nigh unkillable while that subjugate is going.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. And it also takes away from stats from the Frozen Armor as well. And those stats, the stat steal actually stays with the original amount with the Aftershock and the Frost Armor. It doesn't. It's not a dynamic stat. It just stays at the stolen amount.
There it is. That's all it has. But like you said, not the most successful pick in the LPL this split. However, EDG feeling comfortable in it, and Top Esports also looking to try and burst everyone down with this particular composition, the Gangplank Barrels and the Paddle Stars from the Zoe. Definitely going to be a pain in the side for EDG. But overall, I'm not really sure which comp I prefer. I honestly think it's all going to be down to how these junglers path and what lane gets ahead.
Yeah, it's a fairly even composition overall. I would say Top Esports' composition, they'd have a lot of burst kill potential, and it does look more like a bottom side focused composition. A lot of times the way Top Esports likes to play is they will have slow early games, they will grind out small CS leads, and then Xiongxiong comes in level 6 to really change the entire dynamic. So once again, I think that's what Top is going to go for. It's going to be a quiet pre-6 for them, explosive afterwards. While for EDG, the way I see this one is I do see a lot of attention actually being thrown onto the top side. It looks like a Jinoo carry game for me.
We'll have to wait and see as we jump onto Rift of Game 1 of this best of 3. EDG versus Top Esports is about to begin. Myriad of different chants coming in there. Rare that we do end up having 4 teams all on the same day, all in the same venue. So I imagine tickets were at a premium for this particular event, considering that most people have sold out arenas, even if it is only the one match.
Yeah, and something interesting about the LPL is that there is actually dynamic prices.
Ooh, actually, I like this adaptation here from XX. He actually goes with the fleet footwork, knowing that if he goes with the aftershock, he's going to get his entire stat line stolen from him. And we actually see this. This is something I think G2 did. They actually took Halo Blades on the Sejuani into the Trundle, just as a literal kind of like, you don't get these free stats.
It's a really fun counter there. And for the Trundle as well, we're seeing something different. Just the Predator being selected instead of press the attack. So just wanting to get a little bit more ganking potential. In this matchup, even without press the attack, you still beat the Sejuani.
Yeah, you do beat her pretty damn handily, but a ward to spot out Jiejie as he goes himself. And we're going to see some vertical jungling being implemented here by both EDG and Top Esports as they decide to take their first red buffs and then back away and move over to the other sides. And you can see there, going with the primary on the precision, and then a resolve as a secondary, and I quite like that. I like seeing people knowing that like Sejuani is just a good team fighter overall, and the fleet footwork isn't a bad, kind of stat to take either.
Yeah, kind of love those stats there. I really like, I believe it's conditioning. On the junglers, where if you use your summoner cooldowns, you get more tenacity. That's really helpful in the team fight situations. A lot of times your smite is always going to be down, so. Just interesting pickups there. Overgrowth being selected as well. And EDG, this is, I actually kind of questioned this move by EDG because they are leaving Aatrox a bit exposed onto that top side.
I'm trying to see what they can do with it. Looks like actually Meiko just going to be 100% zoning out Ben and LokeN.
It's a good freeze.
Yeah, it's a fantastic freeze, and it makes it incredibly difficult. iBoy, you got to hit those. You got to get the goal, buddy. Otherwise, this freeze don't make no sense. But overall, EDG realizing they have the power in numbers, and that number is level 2 over level 1.
And this is going to be a very strong wave coming in. I don't think the Trundle has the potential to dive here. So Top Esports, they should be feeling relatively safe in picking up this big wave. Or wait a minute, is that Trundle still going for the dive?
I don't think he's going for the dive just yet. Got to spot out the Sejuani there on the wolf camp that he had just taken down until the last wolf. Knowing exactly where the jungler is, obviously going to help out a lot for EDG. Means Jinoo feels a lot more secure in this top side, can go for those aggressive Q trades, and that is a massive wave crashing into this tower right now as Ben just tries to posture himself to secure some CS for his AD carry.
I really want to see how many he actually is able to pick up here. Oh, Jinoo is actually tagged by it.
Jinoo needs to be very, very careful. 369 has got all the tools available to him to potentially turn this entire fight around. Sejuani hovering towards that bot side or top side river as well. And overall, you got to be very, very careful if you're on the side of EDG. You do not want a gangplank to start going.
He is spotted on the ward at least, so EDG, I think, yeah, Jinoo's fine. He's sustained enough where he won't get tower dove on the top side. And in the mid lane, this is quite expected out of the early game from Macaulay. It's a very difficult time in lane. So we do have to see how EDG actually manages to get Scout out of here. It's going to be kind of hard to find those kills with the Trundle though.
Is that a new skin for Akali?
No.
What skin is it? Oh, as I say that, tower hit does land. Sejuani was off to the side, but what skin is that?
I don't really know the name.
It looks like a project skin. Yeah, it is a new skin.
It is?
I think so, man.
I thought it was the old one where she has kind of like a white mask. But
is that not Blood Moon?
No, there's another one. Yeah, but it does look like the project just with the triangle of her backing.
Yeah, I think it is. I haven't looked at the skins in quite a while, just purely because I don't have an account in China at the moment. So no point in teasing myself and be like, oh, look at these 6 skins that I just cannot have. Ooh, 369 did not spot him. Let's see what Jiejie wants to do now. He's found himself behind enemy lines. Sejuani towards this bot side, so this will be a clean 2v1. Scout now roaming up as well. They've pinged out the missings as well, and you can see Gangplank immediately going to back away. Scout going to be spotted here on this ward, and already 369 giving incredible respect to the lane as he now spots himself out of Trundle, and talked about it a little bit. You didn't like the fact that Aatrox wasn't being given a lot of agency, a lot of protection. This is a hell of a lot of protection for this Aatrox.
Yeah, that's a very good counter answer here, and I'm surprised 369's still here. Wow.
They're trying to go for this one. 369 gets chunked out, does some chunking of his own. Sejuani is now here to be able to try and keep him in this, but you can see that EDG, they just wanted to try and make sure that most of this wave was lost to the side of the Gangplank, and I like that adaptation, just forcing him to go back even further so he loses out on XP.
That was 3 waves of melee minions that he could not get. So good win from EDG on this side, and it doesn't really cost him much. I like this move here a lot because they just used the teleport timing from Scout to enable that play. Oop.
Oh, Knight does jump in, gets caught up. They use the perfect execution. They're going to try to jump on top of him. Ignite goes down. Akali picks up the first blood. Knight is being neutralized. Very well done by EDG.
Yeah, that answered all the questions I had. Like, how was a Trundle and an Akali going to get the kill on the Zoe? But once you roam in that support from the bot side, you can still find it. And these are the hardest roams to really predict when you already have the wave pushed in, but the support says, you know what, I don't need the experience anyway.
Might see now Akali is recalling on a ward, but no real gain for XX to go in for that. And again, Knight not having that teleport means that he's in a little bit of a rush as we see a fully completed Hextech revolver. And we might see it jump in now. There is a great ultimate there. LokeN forced to use his heal. That's just a summoner for a ultimate. So overall, EDG controlling the bot lane.
A really good Feather Storm, just jumping up in the air, dodging the WQ combo, and that should help EDG win out on the level 6 gank that we were talking about coming in. I think that's going to be the main point of focus for Xiongxiong.
See, I am unfortunately not familiar with the Chinese alphabet, so I don't call Xiongxiong Xiongxiong. I call him XX.
Double X.
Double X. Yeah. He's one more X, and then he's a Vampire Slayer. As we see the cannon barrage coming down, Jiejie forced to flash away, but the flash. Close. And the orange means he's going to be K for a while. 369 played that honestly as well as he could have.
Yeah, it burned both flashes from the top lane and the jungler. Fortunately, does fall down. I think there was a Deathbringer stance that did get in there for Jinoo, so he was taken out of kill range.
And overall, very impressive early game from EDG, neutralizing the scaling lanes in the top and bot lane, getting some early kills onto some decent damage dealers for their solo laners. Right now, they've got to be feeling pretty good coming into this like early mid game.
Keeping things stable, getting Scout ahead as well. Super important. I just want to see the first gank actually come down. Ooh.
Oh, Ben taking a couple of tower hits, and overall EDG baiting out the engage a little bit there from Ben. He had to go in to try and stop EDG from completely locking down his AD carry, as we see Knight and XX in this mid lane, trying to see if Scout oversteps a little bit. And Knight, he never really goes for those crazy aggressive trades normally, so you gotta feel like Scout knows what's up.
Yeah, Knight really is one of those solo queue players that has refined the art of playing in the Korean ladder. He's very, very conservative, actually. So most of the times when you do see him acting up, you know there's something wrong. And 369 walking over a ward will definitely prove that.
And a lot of time wasted, you could almost say, for the side of top esports, as Sejuani now finds herself going towards that bot side. Dragon has not been started up yet, but it is an objective on the minds of Jiejie. I don't know why I said Jiejie. I was thinking Jinoo. Just mixed up the names. And overall, top esports need to try to start finding some small wins. 369 almost found it in the top side, but unfortunately for him, summoners were available for EDG.
I find 369 doing incredibly well on the top side. Even with those 2 ganks, he really isn't that far behind.
He is 20 CS and a kill, so I think incredibly well is definitely a... I think he's doing well. Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's definitely doing well, but we're going to see an engage coming in, flash in. Knight does get charmed up, knocked up, taken down eventually by Scout. And EDG just honestly with a perfect setup, and Ben now finds himself up in top side. Jinoo gonna get jumped on top of here, so they go in straight away. Explosive barrels does land, they've dropped the ignite, but there's a lot of damage on this Aatrox as he goes into the world ender. Ben not able to help 369 turn the tides at his top side, and EDG taking advantage after advantage as LokeN's now left by himself. He needs to be very careful.
Yeah, that was a lot expended from Top Esports just to get a world ender from Aatrox, not even the flash expended there. So I'm a bit curious on that roam. Yeah, definitely wasn't work for them.
Now XX in a lot of trouble, takes a lot of damage as the Rift Herald and the Aatrox just kind of gang up on him. They can't even trade objectives, and this is a fantastic start for EDG.
Yeah, a bit worrying from Top Esports. I feel like they didn't get anything out of their jungler. It was really waiting for that level 6 type of gank coming in from the Sejuani. They didn't focus anywhere down, and their objective trades were just worse, you know. Chongchong trying to go for a very ambitious Herald with an Aatrox still being at that HP level.
And overall, Top Esports definitely feeling the pressure coming into this particular early game. They're going to have to try and find some kind of a respite. So far, their mid laner, despite being equal on CS, has definitely found out that EDG, they have a lot of faith in Scout and his potential to carry, as they focus a lot of their attention on him. And I got to give like kind of a little mini MVP, I suppose, for the early game to Meiko. He's just been enabling this kind of, you know, roaming Trundle and Akali setup in the mid lane so damn well.
He's roamed twice to the mid lane, and what's even more surprising, he's still held on to an EXP lead. I thought that he was going to be down in the lane, but apparently they've been able to freeze enough of Ben's CS, and Ben's roam not succeeding there.
Here we go. Top Esports maybe looking for a fight here. They have all 5 members available. Smite does come in. The Glacial Prison misses. TP coming in off the backside. Now Top Esports going to try and turn this onto Jinoo, who now turns himself away and gets himself out of there unscathed. Will take a trouble bubble, but overall not going to lose much else. And EDG get the Rift Herald back away. Very nicely done.
Yep, Top Esports had them in their sights, but a little bit too slow on the reactions and didn't find the initial burst going down from Zoe. And if EDG actually wants its tower, they could just drop it right now. Instant first.
We'll see a full-fledged defense being put in here as 3 people from the side of Top Esports decide against it, though. And that's going to be the top lane turret going down. A hell of a lot of gold going over to iBoy. And EDG taking complete control of this early game with a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, this is a massive win for EDG. No lane kills happening, no ganks happening before they start roaming around the map and breaking open the laning phase. So the tempo for EDG is very comfortable. They know how to play this. It's just setting up on the Infernal Drake, where they will likely have the members in place beforehand. And this comp is just built to punish people for face checking. There's so much instant crowd control incoming. Aatrox is great with that. Akali, Rakan, all the same things. Top Esports needs to have a good plan to defend this next streak.
See Scout hunting just outside of vision, and oh, LokeN, oh no, he's going to use the killer instinct. Has got flash, has got heal. Summoners are available. Summoners will not be used, and Scout finds himself a solo kill.
All too easy. You play that like just like an assassination game, you know, sneaking through the entire level. Top Esports still trying to figure out how he got there.
It's like an Assassin's Creed game. It's just kind of like you got to find your target and not be spotted on any of these sentry turrets. But, you know, now we see why they first picked this Akali. They prioritize it for Scout because once he gets going, he's now got 3 kills to his name. I don't even think if, you know, LokeN uses his summoners there. I think he realizes even if he uses his heal and his flash, he's just not getting out.
Yeah, knows he's a dead man. Just kind of waits on it. And I just feel like Top Esports didn't do anything in the laning phase. Which is a little bit disappointing. Nothing really being found here. No ganks is especially worrisome.
As we might be able to kind of find criticism with Top Esports in this particular early game, but we have to praise the agency that EDG have put on to, like, you know, the mid lane, able to make those roams happen, and like you said, still finding the advantage in terms of XP and CS in that bot side for the Xayah and the Rakan. Overall, EDG just 100% positive. This is the kind of EDG we love to see, especially if they're going to try and make that gauntlet run.
Oh, they're under so much pressure to perform this year. We've never really seen an EDG been doubted as heavily as Season 9. Infernal Drake already up. Scout does have the teleport, so he's going to be able to get here. but Top Esports are the first ones into the pit.
And you can see a lot of the wards here. Look at them. They're so defensive from the side of Top Esports. It's not around the top side or around the back of Dragon Pit. It's up around their own jungle bushes to make sure that there's no TP flanks coming in, like you said.
They missed one.
Yeah, they missed one. And overall now, the side of EDG are going to be feeling pretty confident coming into this fight. They've got the Black Keeper finished. They also have the Hex Tech Gunblade finished on the Akali's Scout. You see how easy it was for him to burst people down. The Triple Bubble lands, takes a chunk out of Jinoo, or Jiejie. Too many J's in this team. And we see Scout now going to find himself another target as LokeN. No real chance for him to escape, and again, doesn't even bother using his summoners, and again, too easy for the side of EDG, and that's almost going to certainly be the Infernal Drake going in their favor.
Wow, you just can't walk over the bush like that. That was really smart from Scout. He flips over from the red side wall, and then scans the entire pit, finds nothing, waits in position, watches as LokeN takes down the mid lane, the bot lane wave, and then walks toward the location. So this is just anticipation from Scout. He's catching LokeN out whenever he's playing too greedy.
And LokeN, that was just, like you say, greedy is a good word for that. It was such a greedy pathing. He knew that his top, his entire team had just moved back up towards that banana bush up on top side. You can see in the minimap, they're not really in control of this particular area.
Yeah, he can't really path like this, and it's even more points docked here for not even trying to walk closer to the wall.
Yeah,
he's actually
not
just
even
going down the middle of the lane.
Just like, oh, it's fine. I have scuttle vision. There's no way they could have, with all their mobility, gotten into the back of the pit. It's fine. And overall, EDG coming out with a near perfect start to this game. I think they lost one plate tonight in that mid lane, and that was about it. So far, Top Esports being shut down. And this isn't the first time we've seen Top Esports be shut down by a fellow playoff team. After such a great game against RNG, Top Esports did, before that, lose 2-0 to Suning in a very convincing fashion as well.
We have seen this kind of capitulation from Top Esports. If they don't get going early, they seem to just lag in their game plan. They seem to be a bit lost on the map. That's what we've seen from, their playoffs against Invictus Gaming, where 369 just had a terrible laning phase and it seemed to just end there. So Top Esports doesn't really strike me as a team that has a lot of comeback potential. That's not really what they're known for. And this is going to be a good test to see if they can extend their playoff runs. We've only seen them when they were ahead, but what do they look like when they're behind and when they have massive things at stake to go forward with?
They're 5,000 gold behind, 5 kills behind, 2 towers behind, 2 dragons behind, and of course they are 2 of the highest priority dragons in the game, in 1 mountain and 1 inferno, which EDG will take very, very thankfully. As they try and push into this one, but Scout finds himself again behind enemy lines. Gonna see XX roaming back, so they have pure vision of what Top Esports are doing. And Scout realizing that he doesn't need to be here, there's no real turret or no real dive potential coming in from his team. He's gonna go back up and farm up some more gold.
Yeah, and Top Esports are getting completely shut down in the 1-3-1. No one can really match Scout in the top side at this point. I really want to see Top Esports just try to hard force a gank somewhere. Glacial Fissure has not been used this entire game. Glacial Prison.
Glacial Prison is, or any kind of cannon barrage or any kind of real engagement to make a team fight work. And it's kind of disconcerting realistically because, you lock up anybody on the side of EDG, apart from maybe the Aatrox, you should be able to take them down relatively quickly. So overall, not looking too great from XX's Sejuani, as he just seems to be escorting the rest of his team to kind of safe waves and safe lanings to kind of pick up some more gold and transition them a little bit less choppy into this mid-game.
Yeah, and if we're going to see something really come out, I feel like Knight needs to leave his lane as well. His catch potential is incredibly high, and just as we say that, we see him sneaking towards River. They're already inching there, so at least creating some vision dark spots that EDG can potentially walk into.
Yeah, has got the redemption on the W, as we see potentially a fight for Gromp. It is going to be won by the Aatrox. The gangplank right now, we're only a Triforce, does not want anything to do with that. And so far, Top Esports just seem to be happy enough looking to try and just secure this mid lane turret as a standing goal that cannot be taken by EDG, and that's the one thing that EDG will struggle with, is taking towers, because they've got such a short-range AD carry. You know, Xayah is one of those weirdly short-range one. You don't expect her to be as short-range as she is, but the damage is still there. The assassination potential is still there as well for the side of EDG as they start up this Baron immediately. I think that's just to kind of bait the rest of the side of Top Esports. They still can't see it right now. They know it's not going down right now. Meiko still in a good position to be able to capitalize on this, and Top Esports are happy to call this bluff. They know you're not doing it, and they know that you are not going to be the ones forcing this Baron, especially not with your team. Yeah,
Top Esports actually don't know for sure if EDG are doing it or not.
But now they do.
Okay, after that W, yes. There's a control ward placed there, taking away vision, and EDG just kind of rotate away from them. So very good catch here.
Flash.
So I love that trick from teams where you just kind of like bait them towards the Baron pit, and then they're like, we're in mid instead.
Yeah, they take mid, they take the Dragon, so it'll be third Drake of the game going over to EDG, but as well as that, they get 2 summoners out of Night just purely from using the Hextech Revolver. And the Hextech Gunblade, excuse me. And overall, this Akali has done its job. It's creating a massive amount of kill pressure. The Rabadon's death cap soon to be finished up now for Scout on this Akali, so the kill potential is just going to grow and grow and grow, especially on targets like LokeN.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before EDG can completely shut out Top Esports from their own red side of the map. Just have so much priority here. And what they could even consider doing is just like double stacking on teleports on the spot side, get a kill on 369, take the tower, and it would be safe to still cover the top side as well.
Top Esports do get some semblance of vision control over this Baron, but there is the Predator popped as they look to maybe catch somebody out on rotation. They have Jinoo up here as well, but there may be a catch from the Fog of War, and that's the first Glacial Prison going completely wide, and that's a big engage tool down now for Top.
And EDG know it. They're hard forcing into the jungler at this point. Scanner goes down. They still have 1 more left, so they could poke in deeper here.
EDG, though, they got to be careful. They haven't got the quickest Baron take at all. Not real kind of huge sustain from it either. But they have got damage to kill people off very, very quickly should they face checks. So Top Esports going to try and do their due diligence, just use as many abilities as possible to not face check bushes, which I appreciate. All summoners available for everyone on the side of EDG, only missing the Flash and Ignite from Night on the side of Top Esports. And we're kind of slowly heading towards what could potentially be a big team fight coming out now. XX just running away from EDG, pop down a little bit of a ward. There's the Pillar of Filth, going to be able to kind of zone him out, get rid of his passive. Now Top are in a little bit of trouble now. They have no real vision over this Baron. They're just waiting for the side of EDG to start this up, and EDG are waiting for them to face check it.
Now they still have the Cannon Barrage to face check if need be. And this should be a good inkling here. Top Esports have to rush in now, and that's going to allow their backline to be touched by Scout.
Yeah, here we go. We're going to see TP has been committed to as all 5 members find themselves now around this Baron. Baron down to about 3,500 HP, but now EDG know that they can just turn off this straight away. They're going to try and look for the fight. Ben is going to be the one the first take out, but Meiko takes a huge chunk. There's the Cannon Barrage as well. Top Esports successfully ward off EDG. And the longer this game goes on, the more scary those Gangplank barrels become.
That was a hero play from 369. He had a barrel in the lone pixel brush, takes out both the back line there, and EDG know they have to back.
Yeah, they're going to go straight in for this. The Glacial Prison lands. That's the Aatrox going down, but the Alistar is the one that's traded out for this. And that tower hasn't died just yet. Scout comes in with a TP on the flank, but it's Xayah who goes down as well. Can Scout change this around? He can with a double kill. Rakan is traded as well. Ends up being a 4 for 3 in favor of EDG, and now they push up mid.
A little over ambitious from Top Esports. You could see them going in after they finish off the Aatrox kill, still trying to go for more, but Xayah on iBoy just, didn't use his ultimate yet. Very hard to get the kill down, and a great teleport from Scout to cut off the rest of the team. Once again, EDG, even though they lose the mid tower, are going to hold on to this Baron vision.
Yeah, great lockdown, immediate turn onto the Aatrox, not giving him a single moment in the CC chain to really sustain up, but they took the tower aggro for so long, and Scout able to get onto the backside. It just becomes easy pickings for the Akali, who is just so far ahead. He's got 6 kills now and a death cap as well, so he's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, in that fight you could see a couple things. It's still very difficult to just one-shot the Xayah, and second of all, Sejuani isn't taking whatsoever. Just those turret shots, ripping through her HP bar, no armor being selected. You can't really go for that type of play in that situation. Very good rotation timing from Scout as well, just instantly on the spot. Wasn't afraid to burn his teleport, even though he could have decided to walk there as well. And it's just top esports looks really, really desperate at this point.
And they pick up 3 kills, but overall don't really gain much from it. A Scout potentially going to look for something here. They have found XX, who's going to be forced away off that top side, and now LokeN and Ben in a little bit of trouble. They're going to jump straight onto the Alistar, who's forced to flash away. Now the side of top esports going to keep roaming off, and that's a big cooldown use, and while they were using that as a distraction, Aatrox picks up that bot lane tier 2.
That's how ballsy Scout is playing it at this point. He didn't really know how many people top esports had behind the river point, but he was willing to go in anyway, and top esports are very, very afraid of Scout. You can see most of the team was already up, rotating towards the position, but they still weren't able to dissuade Scout from coming in, and they just say, you know what, we'll back off.
Does mean a tower and a dragon, so objective's going to be picked up here by EDG. As Scout now realizes he was probably spotted fairly quickly coming down from that bot side, and needs to be a bit careful now. Does not know where the rest of top esports are. Sees the Alistar, who used the Hex Flash to get over the wall.
Gotta love that scan. That was a lifesaver.
It always scares me when I'm like an AD carrier or like a jungler and I'm scanning and I see like 4 different character models that I don't know how they're moving, and I'm like, run away.
Back off.
But now double mountain on the side of EDG. They should be able to melt through this Baron if they're given a couple of free seconds on it. Scout going to push out this top side, which will be answered, you would imagine, by top. Overall, EDG still looking very strong with about a just under 6,000 gold lead in their favor. Got themselves 4 Drakes as well. The Knight has been very quiet this entire game. Hasn't really found the rhythm that we're so used to seeing him have on this Zoe pick.
That's been the big question for Knight most of the time. Oh.
Here we go, we're going to jump straight in. XX, not the target Scout wants. Still a bit tanky, has got plenty of HP to burn through, as well as a stopwatch, so the perfect timing available to him at this moment. 3 items now completed onto the Xayah as well, so she'll start chunking into people if they're left into it. Baron has been started down to about 5,000, 6,000 HP, and now the rest of top going to look for the burst on top of it. Stolen! And top esports, the biggest steal they could have needed, and XX gets it. Very nicely done. EDG going to be kicking themselves.
How did they time that? That was spot on. Definitely wasn't vision in that side of the Baron pit beforehand. I trust EDG did a good enough job to at least scan out the Baron pit.
There was a pink ward, and he just didn't clear it.
Oh, wow. What? They just let that be? How could you possibly do that?
Smite went down just a little too early, and it was enough for the Sejuani to get in, and that is the power you have when you have that Zoe to be able to burst with your Sejuani.
Damn, I would have expected EDG to at least fully clear the ward, but that must have been behind the Baron, and they just left it there.
Very, very unfortunate move there by EDG. Should have cleared out the pit. It's a Baron taking 101. And now they have a delay again, and that 6,000 gold lead now becomes a 3,000 gold lead. But can EDG look for
spotted
something?
already. This is not going to be good.
Oh, dearie me. They're going to try and get the Rakan out of there. They will get iBoy's ultimate out of him, but Rakan is the one who has to pay the price. Here's XX. They jump onto iBoy, who's taken so low, nearly sub 100 HP. They look for more and more. There is going to be a Sleepy Triple Bubble landed, and the Trundle gets caught it all off of 1 ward. And yes, Observer, it is you, iBoy, who causes so much pain for your EDG side.
Oh, EDG have just not been coordinating these scanners correctly, missing spots. so crucial in this type of a Baron play, and they had the lead for the majority of the game, and it just feels like they're throwing it all away on simple mistakes.
Very, very poor mistakes coming out from the side of EDG, and started the game off so well, did everything so right, missed one step, and now they've missed two, which means that the base is going to be cracked open from the side of Top Esports. As EDG look to maybe go for a fight, they have Tumble coming up in about 4 seconds. There's the fight coming in.
Scout's
There's
not here, though.
Jinoo just about keeping everyone interested. They're trying to keep them all around the same area. They jump straight onto LokeN, who goes into golden stasis. There is the cannon barrage, but it's not going to be enough to save the AD carry. Scout is the only really redeeming factor for the side of EDG as he keeps his team alive. They do not get an inhibitor taken.
That was a really good find by Scout coming in on the flank. He only gets one stun, but that's enough onto LokeN. And at least they take away the AD carry position for now. It's only 50 seconds on the Baron buff, so they're likely going to be denying that buff too.
Yeah, they have got the Cloud Drake up at 45. You can see EDG saying, "You're not out of this just yet, Top. We made 2 very crucial mistakes, but we are still very damn strong. 3 items on your Akali and your Xayah means that you have got a hell of a lot of damage to be able to burn through." However, death cap now completed for the Zoe. You've got 3 items on your Gangplank, which means that he's even tankier. And of course, the Warmogs on the Sejuani makes it so much easier for XX to face check, take a bit of damage, and then reset. But 15 seconds to this Cloud Drake. Looks like Top Esports feeling a bit more confident about challenging for this particular objective.
I have to say, Top Esports didn't really win a team fight so far. They've walked into lone members of EDG would be the better way to describe it. And if they want to take this one on, they need to have such good vision control here. It's really easy to run into a full recon ult, even though he can't ult and flash anymore instantly. He can still prep it in one of these brushes. So I think the best way for Top Esports to deal with this is just to, you know, give Knight a little bit more time on these initiations, find their targets first.
Overall, Scout is the key. If he is the one who's taken out straight away, as I say that, they're going to find a Glacial Prison there straight away with the Cannon Barrage. That means Ben takes out Meiko. It's some Portal combat overall, and now EDG on the back end of this fight need to back away. Top Esports find their pick, Top Esports take their advantages, and Top Esports not out of this just yet. Yeah,
they take the Drake as well. That was unfortunate positioning for Scout to be caught into. Still in the ramp, and Ben had a really good idea to come in from the front side. They sandwich it, get a kill there.
And I'm not quite sure what EDG were looking to gain. You're right on the edge of where you know Top Esports are, and yet you're looking to try and control a bush that, you know, Zoe can just keep throwing skill shots into.
Yeah,
it doesn't really make sense.
You really shouldn't be putting yourself there. I think they were holding on to too much of just keeping mid lane priority, and watch Ben as he comes around the corner. This is just a great move from him. Probably would have got the kill regardless, but, you know, forcing them in that position gets so many flashes out of EDG. And I think the way you want to play it at EDG is you just want to instantly take the Drake. You want to minimize the amount of time where Knight can deal damage to your team and make sure you can't be split up in those positions.
Items keep stacking for both sides, where a gold lead means less and less the longer this game goes on. You've got so much damage and tankiness now from the side of Top Esports that EDG just cannot just burst through unless they catch someone straight away. And overall, EDG got to be kicking themselves. They had such a good lead. They had control over everything. And then one small mistake means that Top Esports are straight back into this. And you wanted to know how Top Esports come back into a game when they're behind. Not too shabbily.
Yep, they definitely just waited for opportunities that the enemy's team would give them. This is what we got from Knight. When we were asking, like, as an assassin, if you fall behind, what do? Well, you just got to pray that the enemy makes mistakes, and at least they were able to punish quite well. Top Esports putting themselves in a position where EDG need to face check. Hopefully they'll get a couple of catches.
And it's just a great setup. Scout, though, TPing towards this bot side, finds himself in no vision. And they haven't pinged him out just yet either, but Top Esports staying together, not separating themselves. And making sure they know exactly what's going on. As long as they stay as a unit, they should be able to repel any kind of flank. As the Baron has now spawned. So does the interest of EDG in this objective. Meiko takes a huge chunk out of him. As LokeN gets jumped on, he's going to be targeted straight away. There's a fight on two fronts. It's going to be Ben taken down first, and the Kaiser is down. Scout does his job, gets away, and Knight trying to salvage what he can. But overall, iBoy's now got the items, and iBoy will be taking over the fight from here as EDG take themselves 3 kills and lose nobody.
That was such an intelligent fight from Scout. At the start of that teleport, Top Esports still believed he was on the top side, the left of their composition. So they were pinging on those red side brushes saying, you know, Scout could be here, he could be here. They did momentarily guess where the position of Scout was on that right side brush, but they still walked towards it anyway. They left their composition just exposed a while, and EDG did such a good job of just putting Top Esports exactly where they want them.
And they get the fight, they get the Baron, get themselves top lane turret as well. There's a redemption from Knight just saying, get out of here. But overall, finally EDG get exactly what they wanted, and they started off correctly.
Yeah, it was a really good idea on how to force it. Jinoo and the Pillar Trundle taking LokeN to the right side, straight into Scout. Scout finds his target, no DPS from this team, and even though Knight is still alive, he can't find that many rotations onto the EDG squad to allow him to find a kill. Top Esports are so reliant on LokeN, and when you have a fed assassin, it's just really about putting those two players together, and you're going to find the teamfight win.
And they had to use the GA off of Jinoo though, so overall didn't lose anyone, but they might not have that in the next fight. Baron is up for another 2.5 minutes, so EDG going to try and use it to push up, but the wave clear is pretty damn strong on the side of Top Esports.
Yeah, huge one. EDG do have the Elder Dragon next on the menu. This is a very valuable one, as it would give them triples on those Mountain Drakes. And Scout, once again, he finds LokeN.
LokeN, no flash and heal this time around as the fight has been started. As you can see, it's very split off as Ben went in on top of it. XX taking so much damage, but a great turnaround from Top Esports means that 2 quick kills go their way, and now Knight and LokeN can start raining down the damage. It's a double kill for LokeN as he gets revenge onto EDG. Will potentially be able to get himself a triple as they keep chasing down Jinoo. Have to be careful though, that Aatrox got a lot of damage. The trade back gets 1. Will not be able to get another. The only one who's left alive on the side of EDG is Scout, and Top Esports. Very strange fight from EDG. I'm not quite sure what they were looking for.
They wanted to isolate LokeN on the left side, but they just forgot about the killer instincts. I felt like Top Esports did such a good job in isolating Scout out of the fight. No perfect execution used. When he tried to come in, Ben was already holding down the ramp. He was 1v3, but he's an Alistar. He doesn't care. And their carries were just exposed to withering fire from LokeN. That was really well played on the side of Top Esports to kind of turn that. They basically swapped their front line and back line. They're like, okay, our back line is massively exposed. Everyone get around the ramp. Let's change things around. Ben holds down that fort. You can't get near that, and Jiejie is just cut off.
And iBoy's positioning just caught between a rock and a hard place. He didn't really have anywhere to go. If he goes down, he goes towards Ben. If he goes up, he goes towards the Sejuani. There's not really many places he can go. And now, all of a sudden, we're back to square one. We're looking at a 3,000 / 4,000 gold lead, which means very little at this stage in the game. Coming up to 40 minutes. 35 seconds left on the Baron buff that is only sitting on Scout, and a minute 45 for that Elder Drake buff. So we're going to another Baron buff for EDG if they want to try and win this game.
Yeah, and I have to say, for EDG, it always felt like to me when they position for teamfight, they usually don't position for their AD carry. Yeah. They really don't think about their backline that much. It's much more about how you utilize Scout, and probably a little bit too much attention being thrown on the isolation between him and a LokeN.
And yes, Scout has not died yet, but if he does not find his target straight away, he will not be very impactful in these fights at all. A minute left on this Elder buff. You can imagine that EDG are just going to wait this one out. No real pressure on them in the side waves, so they can just hold off into mid lane. They've got plenty of wave clear with the Akali and the Xayah. As we see Scout looking to try and flank towards that top side. Top Esports using the control they have over this bot side jungle, clearing out the vision, making sure they know exactly what's going on where.
And for EDG to win the team fight, they really need to force out the killer instinct before Scout goes in.
Oh, they catch out Meiko straight away, turn in from the Glacial Prison straight into the killer instinct. And that's just a poor, poor calculation there from EDG, and they're losing even more. Now we see the engage coming straight onto this, the Aatrox from the Alistair, and Scout comes in, he jumps straight down onto 369. He's going to try and find himself a new target. Scout looking to try and get the perfect execution. It is going to be a trade of the Alistair, so it's a 1-for-1 overall in this team fight. But iBoy is able to get some free time. The Cannon Barrage is too little, too late. 2-for-1 for EDG.
Wow, that was just insane from Scout. I'm surprised that he's able to survive that one. And iBoy with 100% crit is able to close down on the gap as well. Good use on that. They completely neutralized the Elder Dragon take there.
Now we're back to another Baron game. EDG versus Top Esports. We told you guys this was going to be a very, very close one. Early game belonged to EDG. Mid-game belonged to Top, and right now we're coming into late game, so it's coming down to pure mechanics. This is how just Meiko just gets caught.
It's just the QW combo, instantly died from the CC chain. I want to see the follow-up fight. That was what was so surprising to me. This is a 4v5 already, know the quickness. A lot of attention being focused on the front side. They don't see Scout, but they don't expect him to come in. This was a very brazen attempt at forcing down everyone here, and I think a lot of it has to do with just how much damage iBoy is packing and willing to push forward with.
Yeah, that is a 6-item Xayah right now, so, and like you said, just able to kind of wait out key ultimates. The Alistar Unbreakable was taken down as well. Once that weared off, he just gets obliterated straight away. Baron going to be spawning now in 6 seconds. You can see him roaming around his pit. And overall, EDG still showing glimmers that they can win this, but they need to try and find a kill onto this Kai'Sa pretty damn quickly. Yeah,
and they need a good position for Scout to come into as well. Scout, at this point in the game, cannot go into the front. There's a lot of AoE crowd control, a lot of random skill shots that could just hit him. So I want to see how he positions himself. Most likely, they want another pincer like they did in the previous 2 team fights, where Scout is not with the rest of the team. He's going to find his way across the ramp.
6 items, 80 carries across the board. 6-item mid lanes as well across the board as Jinoo going to probably start off this fight. He pulls back 369. They're just jostling for power over this Baron. No one really going to feel comfortable starting this. EDG do have those double mountains, so if they're given time, they may be able to melt through it. Top Esports, though, looking to not give them that time, pushing in that mid lane. So damn close. You can feel the momentum of this series rides on game 1. You can know that whichever one loses it is going to have a hard time coming back into this. XX needs to be very, very careful. Top Esports have seen a team walk too far forward with the Sejuani. They've capitalized on Karsa and RNG. They do not want to be on the receiving end of that.
And EDG are just looking for the potential flanks. Meiko already taking a long route around, getting the control ward on the right side. So. And Scout again.
Ring around the Rosie. Baron has been taken down to about 2/3 HP, but now they see Scout. They know he's around there. The pings are being put down. They want to try and see if they can catch him out. As he jump in on top of it, the Cannon Barrage has been utilized now. As here comes Meiko, he drops down the quickness to get the knock up on the 369. LokeN not really able to put down the damage. iBoy is separated from the rest of his team. He's able to stay alive just long enough, though, and put the damage onto LokeN as 369 is taken out. Now the fight belongs to EDG. They're chasing, they're hunting, and they're looking to try and take this game. They have got the GA onto Jinoo. LokeN uses the killer instinct. Scout just trying to be as careful as he possibly can. He knows he does not want to get blown up by Knight. Pops into the stasis as Knight going to try and find the damage. Will get it! Full shutdown, and Knight able to show why he is the carry of this Top Esports team. Will eventually be taken down, though. Overall ends up being a 3-for-2 play in favor of EDG.
But he still gets a 1,000 gold bounty. That was very well done by Top Esports on the bottom half of that fight to actually get out of EDG's side of the map. Great calculations on EDG to begin that with the Blade Collar onto iBoy. That side of the fight actually stayed alive long enough for them to do the cleanup onto 369 and XX. So, you know, I think both sides played the fight really, really well, but EDG got the type of flanks that they were looking for to really take a victory.
Pings going down onto the Baron, but you can see this is exactly what EDG wanted, but well played by LokeN.
Yeah, it was really close on his end. I like the idea of actually trading backlines here just because iBoy can't survive with the ultimate a little bit longer. It allows them to take down 369 first. They get the jungler. And the rest of it, this was a chase down. I felt that EDG would have just won hands down, but LokeN gets a killer instinct, gets out of the pit.
Looks like EDG, with the death timer, is able to come back in, get the Elder Drake, get the Baron, so it was a bit delayed, but overall they get the objectives they wanted. And now Top Esports Night, now would be a fantastic time to show why you are considered the best mid laner in the world. He is just looking so damn good, but backs against the wall. Look at that damage!
It's just insane from a lot of these players here. Like Zoe getting 5,000 damage.
Three people,
getting
yeah,
5,000.
3 people getting more than 5k damage in that team fight. And final items are being finished up now. We've got near 6 items now on the top laners. You know, Gangplank's just finished up his GA, so he's going to be able to stay alive longer in these fights. You're almost full build on your Rakan, except for those, you know, pink wards. It's becoming such a closely matched game. We're coming up to near 50 minutes.
This one really reminds me of the match between IG and EDG that we saw earlier in the season, where it was Scout trying to find that backline assassination, and a rookie trying to do that, and Scout just throwing bubbles into the brushes, accidentally catching him out and just one-shotting him. This is really on a knife's edge because of how late the game has gone, how much damage these carries are packing at this point.
It is a pure mechanical team fight play right now. Neither team has an inhibitor taken down. It is Baron buff, though, in favor of EDG, so they will be the ones setting the tempo. As Scout looks to try and maybe take down 369. That's just purely from minions. He's taking so much poke damage. That second Baron is so strong. It's just such a good end game tool to be able to use. But we talked about it at the first Baron, and we're going to talk about it now at the third Baron. Top Esports have great wave clear now with their composition finally all at 6 items. So it's going to be very, very difficult for this low-range team on EDG to really siege down these turrets.
The poke is still deadly from Knight, and we can see that Parlay, very easy to get the Banshees down. They are going to force off Jinoo.
The little cannon minion that could gets taken down, as it was literally being the only thing hitting that turret, and brings it down to about 1/8 HP as Jiejie walks forward. They get themselves a turret. Base has been cracked. Now Top Esports, what is your reply?
That was a Mercurial Scimitar being used by iBoy, so you can see EDG almost instantly sending the AD carry to the very back. Kind of worried that he's going to get another skill shot hit somewhere.
And Jinoo just pushing in that mid lane, will be able to take down that turret, so both inhibitor turrets do fall. Inhibitor's yet to fall, though. That's the key thing here, as Top Esports got that mid lane one ages ago, still yet to get back to it. They're going to try and push in. They've got the double cannon minion. It looks like the side of Top Esports are happy to let that one go. They will not let the next one, though. For the moment, it's going to be defended, but Top Esports need to make a decision. They need to make a last stand. You're never going to get much stronger. You're never going to get many more items. They have to try and find a fight, but EDG just stretching them perfectly.
Really good job by EDG to dodge out on all the Sleepy Trouble bubbles. That was the big thing I was worrying about after the Banshees is continuously being popped by 369. So they've had good luck and good dodges so far, but just one of them does dissuade them to back off. Also the Elder Dragon and Baron buff also falling off.
Yeah, Baron buff only had about 5 seconds left. They were trying to push in towards those Nexus turrets. That was 2 minion waves without a super minion in that bot side that nearly took down the Nexus turret down to half health. So you can see just how powerful this buff is at this stage in the game. And we do see actually a LokeN with no boots and pure damage right now. He is going full tilt, as is the Xayah. Everyone building 100% items. It's going to be a 100% 6v6 right now. Six items for everything.
Longest game we've had this split was 53 minutes, and we're quickly approaching on to that one. I don't think anyone expects a 1-hour game when they sit down to an LPL match, but ladies and gentlemen, here we're going to get it. And this is going to be over so fast. Like, the instant poke potential from Top Esports is just insane. And the same goes for if Scout can find any of these backline targets.
Full items on every single character, bar the supports and the Sejuani. And the one thing I will kind of criticize, if you like, from Jiejie is that he has no space for pink wards right now, so they have limited resources at what Meiko has because no one else has room. It is purely Meiko and what he can find out.
And I wonder if they suspect it. They definitely see it now. Can XX get out?
Oh, or is it Jiejie who might be in a little bit of trouble? He gets bursted down quite quickly by a couple of auto attacks and a couple of burst damages from the paddle star. Gets himself out. Now XX in a little bit of trouble. Will Arctic Assault out?
That was so close. If Jiejie did not get his subjugate down in time, subjugate down, that he would have just instantly been popped there with the incoming damage.
Yeah, has got himself a Warmog, so is healing back up. XX is the one that's got caught out this time now, as we see potentially a fight coming in. There we go, they find Scout, who goes into stasis, but I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this. He will get taken down, that is Scout out, but XX is also fallen. It's a trade of 1-for-1, but key takeout here is that there is no jungler for the side of Top Esports.
Yeah, a lot more power in the Scout rather than the XX. So EDG, they do have to back out for now, but they're still hanging around the area. They don't want to give their Elder Dragon.
I don't know if they have a choice. The longer this kind of like, you know, stalemate goes on, it's the worst for Top Esports because they have 2 inhibitors down. There's iBoy still sticking around. The Dragon will be started up here by the side of Top Esports. They have to take this.
Top Esports really want to rush without a smite here.
They've got super minions though. They've got to make a decision. They're kind of half saying yes, half saying no. Sending one person back to deal with those super minions. There's 2 in that bot lane alone. And that's going to spell the start of this. They have got TP on 369, so he can join the fight if needed. There's not really a huge amount of agency coming out here from EDG. They're just kind of trying to keep Top Esports interested while the minions push in.
The teleport is also there for 369, so he could join. Here he goes, but there's no smite.
Oh, no smite means it's going to be instantly secure, and that second Elder as they all jump into the fight now as the rest of the team from Top Esports trying to turn this one around. iBoy's been left untouched, and LokeN is down. Here comes Scout with the teleport on the flank, and Top Esports are being routed. Top Esports cannot make a decision, and Top Esports will be taken down in Game 1.
They really needed to hard force the engage after that one, but EDG, they will end as the victors to the longest game that we had so far in the LPL. Previous record was only 49 minutes, and they're going to close this one out beyond 50.
Longest game in the split so far. EDG will take it. 52 minutes, 45 seconds. That was a slugfest of a game.
Yeah, this was a game where EDG could have reasonably closed out before the 30-minute mark. Baron stolen by Top Esports gave them a lot more time, and that was a trade where if you were just thinking about the members, you would have said Top Esports does have the advantage here getting Scout. However, it also put Top Esports in a very difficult position where they didn't have their own smite. Their best case scenario was actually just forcing them to engage there 4v4 and trying to wipe EDG before there was a good chance for Scout to revive and pop back into the fight. They kind of hesitated there. They didn't really full commit for anything. And when they did have the teleport go in, it was far too late. It really was, like, they were steps away from the Baron Pit and the second, not the Baron Pit, the second Elder Drake.
And overall, like EDG, they'll be happy with they got the W, but that is not how they wanted that game to go. Going that late into a game, the longest game of the LPL summer split, 52 minutes. And they just, like you said, they had so much in their hands, they just kind of like let it go.
It was off some very weird decision makings from EDG. They just had one team fight where they didn't have the correct calculations on if they were going to get isolation onto LokeN. And the Baron one, of course, we're not going to mention. That's just odd from EDG. But the bottom line for me is that EDG can still run this type of a composition where they have Akali early, and I was very impressed by how they were able to snowball the Akali, because the Akali was on the back foot the entire time during the laning phase. They couldn't get anything going, but the 2 roams that Meiko was able to find, keeping up his CS and his experience in the bot lane too, was really amazing to get them that lead. They were able to snowball it for the majority of the game. It was just on these small things where I felt are very uncharacteristic mistakes from EDG that they kind of let go of. But overall, if they could still repeat that draft, I would call it a win for them.
Yeah, and I think as well, Top Esports, given how the early game went and given how far behind they fell down towards that mid lane, and even just in general in terms of gold, it was 6,000 gold, I think, at the 20-minute mark or something like that, so it's a pretty sizable chunk. they can be happy enough knowing that they were able to stall it out. However, a lack of decision making towards those late game fights. Like you said, they kind of like tried to do both. They tried to cover the Nexus turrets as well as also, you know, kind of try and fight the dragon. I think do either or, because I think the Elder Drake is not going to be the be all and end all at that late stage in the game.
Yeah, there's a couple options they had, you know, back off full defend, but you give it second Elder Drake, which is kind of a big no-no. And the second thing was just you just hard force onto and try to get a wipe there, and that would be, in my opinion, probably the best solution they would have.
Yeah, well, hopefully they come back stronger in Game 2. Otherwise, EDG will be taking a clean sweep. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, we will have that Game 2 for you.